The Shibuya Incident Arc has brought together some of the most powerful individuals within Jujutsu Kaisen, and in some of the most visually pleasing fights so far, Mahoraga and Jogo showed us just how powerful they are against the King of Curses, Sukuna. So today I'll be pitting these two powerful forces against each other to see who comes out on top. Will Jogo be able to defeat the Divine General himself, or will Mahoraga completely destroy the prideful and arrogant special grade Curse Spirit? In this video, I'll be going over their physical abilities, hacks, and lastly, their intelligence. And with that being said, let's start with Mahoraga's scaling. Mahoraga's attack potency ranges between two distinct levels. On the lower end of the spectrum, we could consider his raw attack potency without taking into account his adaptation ability. This estimate of his power comes from his fight against Sukuna. And in this fight, Mahoraga's exceptional display of strength and onslaught of attacks left such an impact on Sukuna that he himself thought that Mahoraga could have beaten his three-fingered, no-heart version. Furthermore, it's been stated that none of the previous 10 Shadow Technique users could successfully defeat or tame Mahoraga, and these particular feats have been estimated to be at small city levels of attack potency. On the higher end of the spectrum, while taking into account his adaptation ability, Mahoraga demonstrated remarkable skills by successfully deflecting Sukuna's dismantle attack and delivering a powerful blow which sent Sukuna flying through multiple buildings. This incredible feat pushes his attack potency far higher than the small city level scaling. However, it's important to acknowledge that Megumi also shared the inner workings of his summoning technique with Haruta, which adds another perspective to this situation. You see, when an individual reveals how their technique works in Jujutsu Kaisen, it creates a binding vow of sorts which improves the effectiveness of their technique, but at the cost of giving their opponent an advantage. This would imply that Mahoraga's attack potency is much higher than it should be for this particular fight. So to keep things fair and simple, we'll place his attack potency at the small city level scaling. When it comes to speed, Mahoraga displayed an impressive level of agility by blitzing Megumi and almost doing the same to Haruta had it not been for Sukuna, who saved him just in the nick of time. Additionally, Mahoraga showcased exceptional reflexes by not only reacting to Sukuna's dismantle attack, but also successfully deflecting it. Drawing from these feats, Mahoraga's speed has been clocked in at about subsonic plus. His durability has been placed within the small city level, and this is due to the fact that he withstood and survived numerous attacks from Sukuna, including attacks within his domain expansion. This is an impressive feat, especially considering the fact that this version of Sukuna was at the 15-finger level of attack potency. When it comes to intelligence, there isn't much to mention about Mahoraga, because most of his battle IQ is owed to his adaptation ability. So basically he exhibits a fairly average level of intellectual capability. Now that I've discussed Mahoraga's physical and intellectual abilities, let's delve into his hacks before proceeding to the scaling of Jogo. Mahoraga possesses a couple of abilities which make him one of the most difficult opponents to deal with. These include his regeneration capabilities, the Sword of Extermination, which gives him the ability to erase curses with positive energy. As mentioned by Sukuna, the sword is imbued with positive energy akin to reverse cursed energy. This implies that if Sukuna were a cursed spirit, the sword attack would have killed him instantly. And lastly, his adaptation ability, which is probably one of the most overpowered and broken abilities within the series. You see, this unique ability allows him to adapt to any and all phenomena. And with Mahoraga's scaling now wrapped up and done, it's time to evaluate Jogo's abilities before pitting these two against one another. Jogo's attack potency has been calculated to be between small town level and small city level plus, with the small town level scaling coming from Naobito and Nanami's statement after their fight against Dagon, who completely overwhelmed Nanami, Naobito, Maki and Megumi despite his domain's guaranteed hit being rendered useless. Even with all these feats, both Nanami and Naobito still believe that Jogo was on a whole different level compared to Dagon. The small city level scaling, on the other hand, comes from his fight against Sukuna when he used his maximum meteor technique, which Sukuna himself states that if it had hit, it would have actually damaged him, which is an impressive feat, especially considering the fact that Sukuna was at his 15 finger level. Based on a feat observed after the fight against Dagon, Jogo demonstrated remarkable speed estimated to be at a subsonic plus level. This scaling is derived from Jogo's ability to blitz both Maki and Nanami. When it comes to Jogo's durability though, Gege pretty much sums this up in chapter 51's notes, explaining that even though Jogo is much stronger than Hanami, if he were to receive 5 of Itadori's black flashes on top of Todo's playful cloud strikes, he would die instantly. And thanks to this statement, Jogo's durability has been estimated to be at least small town level, or even a bit higher due to the fact that he survived an absolute beatdown from Sukuna. In terms of intelligence and battle IQ, Jogo is capable of quickly analyzing and thinking of methods to deal with situations mid-battle. This is seen from his fights against both Sukuna and Gojo, but even so, his battle IQ is pretty average at best. And now that I've covered his physical and intellectual abilities, I'd like to go over the hacks he possesses before diving into the actual battle itself. Jogo has access to a couple of hacks and abilities that allow him to be quite versatile in battle. These include Disaster Flames, which allow him to produce highly concentrated cursed flames, shoot heat rays from his palms, or manifest small volcanic openings in the environment that erupt in powerful beams of fire. Ember insects, which summon small flying insect-like curses that detonate into a flaming explosion upon impact. Maximum Meteor, which allows him to generate a gigantic flaming meteor capable of destroying a large part of Shibuya. Domain Amplification, which allows him to envelop himself in his own domain's aura in order to neutralize any opposing curse technique or domain expansion he comes into contact with. And finally, his Domain Expansion, Coffin of the Iron Mountain, which constructs the inside of a volcano and provides him with a sure hit attack capable of small city level plus degrees of destruction. Jogo's pride as a cursed spirit, coupled with his overwhelming flames, makes him one of the most versatile cursed spirits within Jujutsu Kaisen. But will this be enough to take on the most powerful Shikigami, or will he crumble under the weight of the Divine General's intense power? Based on the scaling section of this video, Jogo and Mahoraga's attack potencies come pretty close to each other, with Mahoraga possibly having a slight advantage over Jogo due to his adaptation ability. Ultimately, Jogo's survivability relies on him figuring out that Mahoraga's blade is imbued with positive energy, which is a feat that Sukuna himself could only pull off by coming into contact with the blade itself, and because he's technically not a cursed spirit, which pretty much makes this a luxury that Jogo simply can't afford. Additionally, based on Jogo's battle IQ being on an average level, I highly doubt that he would figure out how Mahoraga's abilities work before he completely adapts to his fire-based attacks in the same way in which he adapted to slicing attacks in his fight against Sukuna, even going as far as to survive Sukuna's domain expansion. And the only reason Sukuna managed to overcome Mahoraga's adaptation was by using a technique that Mahoraga never adapted to. But due to Jogo's abilities basically boiling down to mainly fire-based attacks, I don't really see him being able to replicate Sukuna's feat. Even if he used his own domain expansion, by that point Mahoraga's adaptation would have already taken effect. Furthermore, considering the encounters of both Mahoraga and Jogo with Sukuna, we can use 15-fingered Sukuna as a direct benchmark for scaling purposes. And based on both these battles, it's pretty clear to see that Sukuna not only considered Mahoraga to be more of a threat, but he also went as far as to use his domain expansion on him, compared to Jogo's fight where he couldn't even land one hit on Sukuna. Mahoraga, on the other hand, managed to land one hit on Sukuna and send him flying through multiple buildings. Overall, Sukuna seemed to take Mahoraga's fight more seriously, and in all honesty, I don't see Jogo being able to blitz Mahoraga in the same manner that he did with Maki and Nanami, placing my final verdict as Mahoraga being the winner. But as always, this is just my opinion, and I'd like to know who you think would win. So with that being said, be sure to warm smash that like button, subscribe today to join the Spartan army, and until next time guys, peace.